So Steph Diggs is one of the good things, and Drake May brings up some of the bad things that, people are sick of losing. Maybe there's – but one reason you were a losing football team over the last couple of years was the offensive line. Can we agree on that?
Without a doubt.
Well,
the offensive line was hugely responsible for last year's
If you had to power rank
season.
the top three things that were, I would say it would be offensive line, coaching, quarterback play.
Okay, so I would also add in targets in there somewhere. So what I would say today, if we went just immediate reaction, and we may play a game here on WEEI Afternoons where any of the co-hosts go to training camp practice. When they return from said practice, they need to say whether that added or subtracted from their win total projection for the Patriots on the season.
Well, let's start today.
Okay, I'm happy to do so. It's subtracted from my win total. I was at 8 wins coming in. I'm now at 7 wins after I saw this offensive line in this tackle position.
Can we do? Does that have to be whole games? Can we do half a game?
What do you want to do, quarter games?
No, not quarter games, just half or whole.
Okay. You sure want me to do
Take
half
it down.
games?
Yeah, because
It's 7.5.
In Vegas, they do half games. So
They do half games,
So-
but they don't do half games on the real football field.
No, I get that, but just for
They're
our
called
sake,
ties.
can we do half games?
Okay, so we'll do half games. So I was an 8-win. You're right. A full game probably seems a little much over one practice in shorts and T-shirts.
I mean,
So
if it's such a
7.5.
bad practice, you want to give them a
No,
full
because
game.
there was enough positives.
Okay.
If it was, you're right. I should save it for a universally bad day where pretty much
What'd you say?
everything. So I would. You're right, Ted.
Okay, thank you.
You're having a good show, Ted.
Thank you.
Good job, Ted. I'll subtract
Sucks, doesn't it, huh?
a half a game for what I saw from the tackle positions because Drake May was under pressure. I'm just going to throw a number out there 40% of the time, 50% of the time. I don't know what the actual numericals
Yes, but all
were.
the aggregators reminded us he was 8 of 9 LFG.
Well, he also had some T-bows, which is what it's called when you have to pull the ball down and run for your life because you were under so much pressure. He also had some T-bow part twos, which is when you threw a pass that never would have really happened in a real game because you would have been on your back, sacked in the backfield.
Going forward, I think I speak on behalf of all of Pat's Nation. The less frequently you can mention Drake May and Tim Tebow in the same sentence,
Probably fair.
the better. By the way, Forged in Foxborough, Episode 2 opens with a play where Drake May rolls to his right, finds no one, kind of like we saw today actually happened. So this was eerily similar. And then he keeps looking, and finally takes off and scampers for a first down. And Vrabel praises him for the first down, but said, what I like most about what you did is you kept yourself viable as a passer as long as possible.
And that is what Drake May post-practice said is the biggest thing he's been working on under Josh McDaniels is, I think he used that phrase, keeping myself as a viable passer longer before I actually decide, okay, now I'm a runner and I do need to run down the field.
Can I just give you one little Morgan Moses? Do you guys know what his PFF grade was? Now, these are objective.
Last year passing or run block?
Well, both. I can give you both.
Okay.
So let's just say there's out of 140 offensive tackles.
Yeah.
Where do you think Morgan Moses ranked both just offensively and pass blocking and run blocking?
I'm
Where do
gonna
you think he
guess
ranked?
middle of the pack.
39th.
76.
76. So there's let's say there's 2 tackles in every team. That's 64 tackles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're saying he's
no. Okay, you said 140 first. Okay, so
I did.
Out of
So,
60,
but
out of 64,
Yep.
I'll say
played.
49.
49. What do you say?
39.
So he was ranked 63 out of 140.
I don't love
tackles.
that. I don't love
63.
it.
He was 55th in his pass blocking grade, and he was 71st on his run blocking. So passing grade was a little bit better than his run blocking.
Well,
but
today,
the point is he wasn't even considered one of the best, tackle right or left in the league that played last year.
and today he looked a little bit, if we're being honest, a little bit stiff, a little bit slow, a little bit like Harold Landry was playing at a different speed for him. And Harold Landry is a small, quick edge rusher. That's clear. That's what he is. And it wasn't a good matchup for Morgan Moses today. Day one, like I'm not jumping to these massive conclusions. And as I said, maybe Harold Landry's ready for a bounce back year. There were some people that thought he kind of petered out in Tennessee. Maybe he's ready for a bounce back year. Maybe that's a good thing there. But the consistent pressure for Drake May was one of the biggest negative takeaways from practice today. You couldn't, because you just notice it. Oh, my God, bodies flying in his face. And as you said, guys running by, which that's a play that ended in a real game, but now he throws it and the crowd cheers. That I hate when the crowd does that.
Yeah.
When they give this big cheer, because after he would have been sacked, he throws it to Stephon Diggs, and everybody goes like, did you not see the sack? You're cheering for the play that never happened.
But they just see highlights in front of them.
Yes, It's kind of like you with Joe Milton. You just see a long throw. You didn't care that it was out of bounds under a tarp.
And I have to share it on the gram.
617-779-7937. Randy in Providence is going to tell us what is success this year. What's up, Randy?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good, man.
How are you, Randy?
I'm all right. To that your earlier question about Hendrickson or McLaurin, I would definitely pick Hendrickson, and it kind of ties into my thoughts on the season, which I think if the Patriots are going to have a good season, which is, I would say, like if they're going to go like 9-10 wins, it's going to be based off a very strong defense, like a top 10 defense, maybe even top 5, depending on how well Barmore and Williams can really gel together on that line, and Davis and Gonzalez's help. I just don't think that they're going to need to ride Drake May a lot. I don't think that's the formula for building a franchise quarterback in these guys' eyes. Both these guys were around from the beginning of Brady, McDaniels and Vrabel, that is. And Brady he didn't throw a lot of volume in those early years. Those early years, he was, barely over 70 yards per attempt. He was not over 200 yards per game in his rookie season. It was first season starting. And it took him, 4 or 5 seasons to get up over 250 yards a game and to get up over that 7 yards per attempt. They were really just asking him to limit mistakes and kind of learn to read defenses and learn what he should be doing in certain situations.
Thanks for the call, Randy.
It is interesting.
It's true.
First off, yep.
It was a quarter century ago.
Yep.
In the National Football League.
Football
different
is
league.
a little different then.
And here's where I blow some more smoke up Ted's skirt. Are there a lot of Hall of Famers on this defense?
We didn't know there were Hall of Famers on that defense, to be fair.
Oh, I kind of knew they were really good players.
Yeah, good player. Yeah, really good players. Yeah,
I
but
mean,
don't know
I knew Ty Law was an all-pro player. Okay, so that's your Christian Gonzalez. Let's say that.
Fine.
Do I think Harold Landry this year is Willie McGinnis? No, I don't. Do I think Richard Seymour? I mean, I guess you want to sell yourself that Milton Williams is going to be Richard Seymour or one of those guys. I don't know. And the safety position.
I'm a little bit more worried that this defense isn't as good as people think. And I look at the depth. I look particularly at the depth.
Wow.
Yep.
No, that's legitimate. The depth
issue. I have questions about Barmore being as good as people think, and I worry about depth. I think depth is a major issue on both sides of this football, and so I have concerns. But you know what? It's interesting. I mean, can you imagine, like, if Bill Belichick was here, can you imagine having Steph Diggs and Terry McLaurin? He barely wanted to get one diva, let alone two. And I was worried that Josh McDaniels is the offensive coordinator. A lot of times when you bring in great players and receivers, that diminishes the impact of the coaches. I always think sometimes, at least the old coach regime, like to have schemes where you would say, oh, that was a great scheme. It wasn't about the players, but I came up with good schemes. If you got great players on offense, then it's not about the offensive coordinator as much. It's about, these great players.
I think you call that the Chris Hogan.
I worry about that a little bit.
Chris Hogan with a $180 and 2 touchdowns in an AFC Championship game. No one says Chris Hogan. They say the scheme and the offense and all that.
They found him.
Hey, 2016
This
Chris
guy's
Hogan.
having a show over
2016 Chris Hogan was better than people give him credit for.
here. He was good.
He knew what to do
player.
when his number. I'd never heard that before.
He was a lacrosse player who put up Julio Jones numbers. They both had the same numbers?
They did.
AFC and NFC title game that year.
Yeah.
Chris Jones and Julio Jones. Chris
Hogan.
Why was I calling him Jones? Chris Hogan and Julio Jones both had 180 yards and 2 touchdowns.
How about that?
One was a superstar top 10 receiver. One was a product of the Patriots.
There you go. Product of Josh McDaniels.
They probably had the exact same Super Bowls, too, and one of them came out on the winning side because he had sea legs when it mattered most. Did you hear that story on the Edelman podcast this week where Edelman said if we held on to AB in 2019, we probably would have gone to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, or you would have gone to prison as a team unit. Who knows?
Yeah, that was the peak of his problems, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's hard to tell with him exactly where the peak is.
It felt like the peak of him.
617-779-7937. Back to phone lines. Joe in Randolph has some thoughts on the Patriots. What's up, Joe?
Yes, let me take you off the speaker, gentlemen.
Thank you, Joe.
I guess I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid on the Patriots having a great season. I think based on what I've seen over the last couple of years, the team seems to be inconsistent. They make an awful lot of mistakes when they're on the field. They don't seem to play with confidence. And, of course, if any of their frontline starters gets injured, they have no backups. And regarding their quarterback, if I can draw a quote from Bill Parcells, I wouldn't put him in the Hall of Fame just yet.
There you go.
There we
Thanks
go.
for the call, Joe.
Joe, that's a good call. By keeping us honest.
It's
Keep
a
us
good
honest,
call, Joe. But I just all of that is based on last year, basically.
Right.
And this is what's the number? 47 new players on the roster,
Right.
Total new coaching staff. Everything has been Drake May's the same, but you'd also like to think that Drake May year 2 is going to be a different quarterback. If Drake May's the same guy, they got no shot.
Yeah.
If Drake May is going to turn the ball over late in games, if he is not going to be able to lift the offense to better, then they have no shot. Because I don't buy into, who was the previous caller that said, just play defense? I don't buy into that. I don't think you can just play defense in 2025 in the NFL. I think there's going to be times where Drake May and the offense
Have to make plays.
have to make plays, have to make drives, have to score points. You can't just ride the back of the defense.
He didn't say what he predicted, but on the screen call it said he predicts 5 wins.
Ridiculous.
I have a hard time coming up with a scenario in which they only win five games.
Same.
Something like Drake has to get hurt.
Oh, yeah.
And
if
to
that
me,
happens,
that's it. That's 5 wins is on the table if Drake May gets hurt early.
Have
That's the only
mercy. If Max Crosby, first quarter, just eats Will Campbell for lunch and Drake May gets dinged up, see ya.
It's not only 47 new players, and 47 of the new players, probably 30 to 32 or 3 of them are going to make the team. They were brought in here.
Yep.
Right? So it's going to be more than half the team is going to be new, but almost the entire coaching staff is new too.
Oh, 100%.
That is a huge difference. They're going to be coached better, more better than they have been in a long time. Because even Bill was skimping on coaches and making guys coaches that
Oh, he
weren't,
had the smallest
shouldn't have
coaching
been
staff.
coaches. Right. So I find it hard to believe that
When
they
I-
only win 5 games.
Patricia told me at one point when I ran into him 2 years ago that in 2022 he was OC, offensive line coach, and GM all at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the first game
All
of the
at the
season.
same time.
Who got hurt? Who was coaching offensive line? It was
Adrian Clem?
yeah,
Yeah, that worked out well for him. What did he
or
leave,
even a
8
player?
games in?
David Andrews.
Oh,
Was
David
coaching
Andrews
youngsters.
was helping.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was a joke.
Yes.
Hey,
It was a
had you have any professional run-ins or engagements with Doug Marrone? He gets a lot of run in the most recent Forged in Foxborough,
No,
and he seems like he's going to have a lot to say about how this line works.
Well, I think he's a big personality.
Yeah.
Him and Bill O'Brien are best friends.
Yep.
Yeah.
And just knowing Bill like I do, I think I would know kind of how Doug would be.
Yep.
My guess is Doug Marrone's the kind of guy you want to have a beer with sometime because he'll tell you some good stories.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's just got a big personality, a lot of confidence, and that's he played that position in college. That's what he knows better than anything, and that is to me. You need to have one of your smartest coaches coach an offensive line.
Yes, and the thing we need to do, and we all need to be careful with this, I think, when we analyze anything. Drake May is not Tom Brady. None of the tight ends are Rob Gronkowski. Efton Chisholm's not Julian Edelman. And
Yet.
the line coach is not Scar. He doesn't need to be compared to Scar. He needs to be compared to the 5 guys that have gone through in the last 5 years, Adrian Clem and whoever the other 5 were that all, you know what I mean? Don't compare him to the all-time great that once was here.
Strike Force Scott last year, Scott Peters.
Yeah, Scott Peters. That's not just be better than Scott Peters. Be a competent, the word we've used a lot. Be a competent offensive line coach.
And you know what? You tell me you guys were getting beat one-on-one. Okay. I don't have as much a problem with that as if you came to me today, and I'll be out there tomorrow. Fitzy, you'll be out there tomorrow. Is when
I'll be there too, Mark.
And you'll be there as well.
Good memory on this one.
If I hear you guys, you know what? Guys were running free.
Oh, they were.
Okay. All right. If guys were running free, that means they don't know they're blocking us.
What do you call it? Unaccounted for? There were guys that were unaccounted for. Just like.
Okay. Then that makes me more concerned. But I will say this: first day is usually kind of your head spinning as an offensive line, and they're hitting you with exotic blitzes. It takes time to kind of, if they're at the end of training camp, if guys are still quote unquote running free, then I'm on high alert.